who's the number one?
What about the auditors?
Do you know who's the first? Do you know which nationality is the number one in your list of critical work?
What about the auditors working in the UK? The South African auditors working in the UK.
They can go to UK. We don't care.
Look how she thinks. Do you see that? That line of reasoning is flawed.
What must I say?
Is flawed.
That they're going to UK?
Okay, let's follow your line of reasoning. No, hang on. Let's follow your line of reasoning. Let's just go. Listen, Nonda, listen for a second. Nonda, listen for a second. Let's folloh your line of reasoning.
Madam, Madam, let me ask you a quick question. Do you have an African ex-boyfriend or something, or somebody hurt you or stole your
Baba. Ingena peer boyfriend. Boyfriend no how.
So why are you so upset?
I'm not upset. I'm
You're
telling you.
Coming across like that. You can't even. Hold on. You see, hold on, madam. Hold on.
You guys think you are dictionaries. That's the problem.
Hold on, madam. Hold on. For God's sake. And you're okay. Either you're upset or you're incapable of just holding your composure for literally 2 minutes.
And I'm listening to you.
Okay, madam. I'm gonna place the challenge again now. You see, you cannot listen. You wanna be heard, but you don't wanna listen to anybody. It doesn't work like that. All right, but then
I was not in the panel.
Okay, madam.
That's why I started by tribalism. By tribalism. Then I will come up to one by one every point you mentioned.
Madam, relax 1 second. Let's see if you can hold your composure just for 2 minutes without jumping in. Should we try it?
Go for it. Shoot.
All right then. Okay, let me go to Zamani. You're back. I mean, the combination with you and Zamani.
Talk to me is gonna be next.
Okay, now I asked the question. I've asked the question. I'm saying like, why are you so like? You seem like you're really upset about something. Because
can I answer that?
You know why? Because when I talk, you guys wanna tell me about South Africa. That's my point.
Answer that. 200. Please answer.
Want to explain South Africa to me? When I was born in this soil.
Please.
I was born in this soil.
Yes, brother.
And listen, Mina, I cannot tell you about Nigeria. Nonda. Even if I know some of the things.
Nonda,
but you are not dictionaries. You are not a constitution.
Madam, let's give 200 billion a chance now. 200.
Okay. So, firstly, I think one of the mistakes that we made is discussing all of this current affairs, without actually discussing the context of where everything comes, and you will find that in each and every single culture or country or every culture mix, there's always a history behind that results to things that you see in the modern days. I'll give you an example. My sister mentioned Shangaan people always find it, tough to be in SA because of apparent tribalism and all that stuff. But when you read about the history of Shangaan people, those people were under a king called Uso Shangaan at some point. And at some point, those people were intertwined with other Zulu people at some point, far in the history. And then what happened was there was a battle, for cattle and kingship and all that stuff. And those people ran away. And those people, they are called Amashiangani. They are called Shiangani because they left kids behind and ran away. So the word Shangaan comes from the idea that they left kids and ran away. So you find that throughout generations, people, have a certain idea of other people, that results in what you see in that specific time. Vibes, can you please mute your mic? Yes. So it's the very same thing that we see right now with things like Zimbabweans, Nigerians, and Ethiopians, and all the issues that we have in our country that's happening right now. I think it is very hard to discuss or agree on anything because South Africans are always going to feel defensive because South Africans have experiences in the past and experiences that are going on right now that is leading to people having the beef that they have. Right now, we have a whole lot of Zimbabweans in our country, for example. I'll speak about what Ngola mentioned. We have a whole lot of Zimbabweans in our country. You know, they're robbing people in Johannesburg CBD. You know, they're stealing medication in some hospitals in Limpopo. You know, there's a lot going on there. You know, for example, Shona people, when they get to a work environment, you know, they're willing to take a low salary, and not just take a low salary. You know, they'll go as far as backbiting the locals that they found in the company. You know, they shumana with the boss, you know, they go and snitch on the locals. Next thing you know, there's no locals left in that company, and it's only Shonas that are employed in that company, you know. So there's a whole lot of things that are going on the ground, you know, to a point where should you say you want to appoint a Zimbabwean on a high official level in the government of South Africa, it's not just going to be coming from nowhere that South Africans are saying we do not want that Zimbabwean guy up there. It comes from the daily experiences of what happens on the ground in the country and what's been happening in the country for years. So it's gonna come out as if South Africans are just playing outright saying we just don't want Zimbabweans and all this stuff. But it hasn't been like that for quite a very long time. You know, if you look at when foreign people or people from other African countries started coming to SA, it's been a very long time, and you haven't been hearing all of these things that are happening now. But I think South Africans are starting to feel the pinch, you know, and I think a very, very fruitful way of discussing is for people to actually not try and gaslight people and say, you know, South Africans are just outright xenophobic, or they're that. You know, you need to listen to what the people are saying as well on the ground. I'll give you another example. If you look at the requirements.
Another example. Let me just correct something you said based on context. Give me a second, please. Be patient.
Can you hold it, my brother? Can you hold it?
No, just hang on. I want to correct what you say that was inaccurate. When I specifically mentioned Zimbabwe, please listen. You spoke about context. Listen. Okay. When you said I mentioned Zimbabwe, I simply mentioned Tendai Motori, who is currently, please listen, because I don't want, you're already going off a different narrative, and I can see your line of reasoning. No one here said about any xenophobia, Afrophobic. You're the one that came and started mentioning that. We're pivoting on to narratives that goes on social media. Please do not do that. Let's stick to the context, to your reasoning, right? That's what you said. You came with context. I spoke primarily about Tendai Motori, who is in an acting position as CFO in SABC. I didn't say anything about Zimbabwe as it relates to criminal activities. Thank you.
Okay. And as much as you would want me to listen, it's also important for you to listen, my brother, you know, because I was alluding to that because this is the whole thing. If there's issues between South Africans on the ground and Zimbabweans, it's not going to be easily accepted that a South African, that a Zimbabwean is appointed to any position for that matter, you know, in SABC or whatever government or whatever position in the high level, because the people who are on the ground are actually arguing about stuff. So before they even test the character of the person that's being appointed, you know, they'll just hear it's a Zimbabwean and they will fight. That's what I meant. So I'll give you another.
But 200, here's what is so flawed with that line of reasoning. Listen to this very quickly. What you're telling me is that if I have a problem with a person from Congo, no Congolese person is allowed to enter my country. That is flawed. This man is qualified to hold that position. What does he have to do with the Zimbabweans that are committing criminal activities? That is unrelated. Why are we not having that kind of context clear in this conversation?
Okay. Let me just get
issues that are unrelated.
Hold on, guys.
200.
Hold on.
200. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Let me speak now.
What you're saying, but I just want to say this. You are referring to a person from Angola, right? A person, right? Angola?
I just told you, listen, you're talking about context here. This is very simple. This is common sense. Please listen. You are combining
my brother,
issues.
can I help you in that?
No,
Whenever
can
people have this conversation, you
ahead.
always want to combine unrelated issues. Please listen. 200, please listen. This is it. Listen very carefully. Tendai Matori is qualified to be in that position. That has nothing to do with the illegal activity that other Zimbabweans are involved in this country. Now,
Tendai is not qualified
please,
South African criteria. You are wrong.
Hold on.
Oh my goodness. You want context here, right? You want to be specific here.
But let me explain to you, my brother, what I mean. Please also
listen. What you're explaining to me is
my brother. I'm trying to go with your line of reasoning as well. Please also.
No, it's not about going with my line of reasoning. This is pretty simple. We cannot say that no, because just listen to this, and I'll let you speak. 200. It's now what you are saying is no. South Africans have the right to not want that person dead. No, it's not South Africans that decide. It's the person that is in charge of SABC. They were looking for a person and they saw that the most qualified person currently to occupy that position is Tendai Motori. That's why he's there as an acting, meaning he's covering up for that position because the person that was previously there had to step down for whatever the reason is. Now, you can't take that and say, no, South Africans are unhappy about that because there are many Zimbabweans committing crime in Johannesburg, stealing people and whatnot. That's unrelated. There's nothing to do with a man being qualified to hold that position. Why is this too hard to comprehend? That is my point.
No, my brother. I hear what you're saying, right? I've listened to you, right?
No. You hear what I'm saying or you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm understanding it.
But no, don't put but. When you put but, you take away what you have, what I have said. And that's not right.
My brother. You can't force me to agree, my brother.
Because you don't agree with me. Say you don't agree with me, and that is why you are having a comprehension issue here.
No,
you literally came up here and you said we must add context. I'm giving you the context and you still refuse to accept it.
You're not listening to me, but I'm listening to you and you're not listening to me.
Listen, what is there to listen?
Let him talk. Let's go and talk.
It's very simple. Did you hear what I just said?
Ngola, let me put it like this to you. Maybe let me try and explain it in a different way. You see, with everything that's going on between South Africa, this is an example. So don't say I'm conflating issues. This is just an example. With what's going on between South Africa and Nigeria right now regarding Chidima, in the heat of everything that's going on right now, how do you think Nigerians would react to a South African being appointed as an acting or a position, just whatever position?
Let me just quickly respond to that.
Hold on, my brother. I'm not done.
No. It's a quick thing because I want to talk. Gola still got the mic. It's easy. I got your question. Let me just quickly because you still. No, it's fine. You still have the mic. I just want to tell you.
Can I finish at least?
Brother, man, why are you dragging it? Okay, go on.
Yes. So if a South African were to be appointed in Nigeria for a high position, whatever it is, with everything that's going on right now, with the heat of what's going on.
I got it, brother. Let me just quickly respond. You're dragging the question. I got it. But listen, all you need to do is show me or any evidence, despite everything going on, any South African in Nigeria that's complained about anything or anyone said nothing to them. Any South African in Nigeria right now, despite all the stuff going on with Chidima, any South African that's come on TV, social media, or anywhere said, well, Nigerians did this to me because of Chidima?
Firstly, I do not know of any South Africans that are in Nigeria. So
that was your response. So you can move on, brother.
No. Listen,
and you see the point, you're looking for justification for what you're hold on a second, brother, hold on, because I heard you. But you see, the brother Ngola, he gave you a response, but then you're seeking for something to justify your position, but it doesn't exist in the Nigerian context.
What position?
Okay, the question you just asked me.
You want to,
Madam, can you not do this, man? I don't like when you do this, right? I've been quiet, Madam. With all due respect, I would have to drop you. Don't do this, please. Can't just keep jumping in when. Well then, compose, please. But I'm not. But you're doing this. I asked you before. Now you're gaslighting me. You jumped in literally. I begged you multiple times, please don't jump in, but you keep doing the same thing. If 5 people do that at the same time, it gets rowdy. Please. Brother, Ngola gave you his position. Now you wanted to justify your position. Now you're fishing for something to justify your narrative. But it doesn't exist in Nigeria.
What narrative, my brother?
Okay, you asked me, despite everything going on with the Chidinma case, how would Nigerians react to South Africans? And I'm telling you, have you heard anything?
I haven't given any.
Okay. Let's not deal with semantics. Right? You understand what I'm saying, my brother? Oh my day, brother. Right? You asked me, with all these things going on with Chidinma, because remember, it stemmed off of you wanting to justify the way South Africa.
No, I asked a question. So I'm trying to find out now what narrative you say I was pushing, because I wasn't pushing any narrative. I was just
I was trying to tell you that same narrative, but you're not. You jumped in. Right, the narrative. Right, okay. Let me start from where Ngola gave you a response. Well, he opposed your view. Or whatever you try to justify that the reason why you might then calm down, brother, man. Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
So you said you're trying to tell us that the reason why some South Africans might be acting or behaving in the way they are towards certain groups of people is, you gave some example that when they're at workplaces, all of a sudden when a Zimbabwean comes there and all of a sudden there's no more locals working there and stuff, right? Or they start talking bad about the local South Africans, right? And the brother said, well, don't mix apples with oranges, right? You're basically his point was basically saying you're comparing apples and oranges, and then you wanted to justify your comparison of the oranges and the apples, and then you were then saying, okay, well, in the case of Chidinma, it would be expected that Nigerians will act in a certain way to South Africans on the basis of what they've seen on TV about Chidinma. And I'm telling you that have you turned on your TV or looked anywhere and you've seen or heard any South African in Nigeria complain about anything?
Did you hear my question to begin with?
Yeah. Well, was that not your question?
Because what you're saying is not a response to my question. I said to you, how would Nigerians react to a South African being appointed as a government official or something up there in the government,
then
knowing what is going on in Nigeria?
How's that even an example? A government official. Just say workplace.
The question doesn't even make sense.
That makes sense. What are you talking about?
Here's the thing, right, Yomi? Here's the thing. Exactly. He refuses to see that there is no correlation, and this is
exactly. And I thought top government official. How's that linked to the conversation? What are you talking about? The people you're talking about at the workplaces. Hold on. The people you're talking about at the workplaces, are they top government official or just normal workers?
Nola mentioned that the guy Tendai was appointed as acting whatever in SABC, and SABC is a government entity in South Africa. It's a broadcasting company in South Africa that is a government entity. So what I'm saying to you is, if given that same example that Ngola is mentioning, right, given the issue that Nigerians and South Africans are facing right now, the beef, if I can put it that way, how would Nigerians react?
Okay, so my response to that is, and you're trying to hide still behind what you're saying. Ngola said your original example had nothing to do. Hold on a second, right? Your original example had nothing to do with top officials or nothing. It was just you were justifying
I was addressing
reason why there were certain well, okay, you were given a reason. Let me put it that way, right? You were given a reason for why some South Africans will behave in a certain way to certain groups of people, and you were then given the reason because you said, okay, well, they will backbite some locals, or and then all of a sudden that had nothing to do with top officials. So why are you now trying to hide under what you're saying Ngola said?
That's because you are not listening.
I don't have
please,
to.
Don't say he was not listening. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. 200. You even went on to say that then people call us xenophobic. Yomi, at one point in time, did we use the word xenophobia in this discussion since we've been here?
That's because you were also not listening, and I told you, let me finish.
No,
so
it's not. Listen, you are trying to deflect, and this tactics you are using is very unintelligent. I gave you a simple example. Please listen. I gave you a simple example. Let me just ask someone else. Let me ask.
No, if we know what,
and I won't say anything. That's what I was saying. I was just laughing.
Madam, you don't know everything about everything.
You are talking to, and you are.
But you don't know everything about everything.
Conclude.
But so are you know who are you talking with?
No.
Are you know who are you talking with?
I'm talking to someone from Nigeria or someone from Congo, because you don't want to say, I asked the question, where are you coming from? You didn't answer.
Okay.
Nobody answered.
Yeah, who did you ask?
Hang on, let me say
my assumption
hang on,
is
sister.
you are Nigerian.
Sister, hang on. Sister, listen. I think if you're intelligent, you wouldn't make an assumption without having knowledge, right? Just wait, please, just wait. Listen. Yomi made a very good point. You don't know every single thing. You know the audacity. It's very ignorant to come in the panel and strictly or quick to assume that, okay, you are not South Africa, you can talk about it. That's not how it works. We can talk about anything we want. This is a public platform. And I can assure you, you don't know every single history that took place in South Africa. You simply don't, and you have to accept it. And it's okay. It's not an attack. We are just having a conversation. I come here, I listen to someone listens to me, we listen to other people listen to us. We gain and we increase in knowledge. This is common. It's not to say that someone is belittling you. The problem is whenever we come to a platform, people are charged up. I don't know where you've been and what was happening in that platform. You bring that energy here. At the end of the day, we are all Africans. Why can't we just have a decent conversation where we don't need to be like we're attacking each other? Like Yomi is even giving you time and again a chance, but you just, it's like, you just want to, what is the word? You just want to vent, you know? Everybody has issues, but I think what happens in South Africa most of the time, you take your social issues and then you make it, it's like, look, for example, there's a guy called Tendai Matori. He's from Zim. He's currently in a position of acting as CFO for SABC. People are having issues with that. Oh, no, you can't do that. There's many South Africans who are qualified, blah, 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 this, and that. That has nothing to do with that. If the issue is illegal immigrants, you come here and you voice your concern. We hear you. We don't want illegal immigrants. They're doing this, they're doing this. When they're legal, oh, no, they're taking our jobs. What is it that you want? You can't stop migration. Mass deportation will not work either. And there are international laws that apply.
And my brother, to add to your point, and to add to your point, my brother, you say that you also say that, well, okay, we don't have problems with the legal immigrants, we only have problems with the criminals, right? But then when you also see some people who say, well, you know what, I will keep my dignity, but I will never resort to criminality, even if it means I would receive 1 rand. But at least I'm working for that 1 rand. You still have a problem with that.
That's it. And the other thing is also, and it's worth mentioning, there's a lot of jobs that South Africans don't want to do. You see, let's just be honest. There's some jobs that South Africans don't want to do. And their reason is they're going to pivot on the minimum wage. But here's my thing. Let's say you're a qualified business person, right? You studied finance. Now, there is no job on that field. Are you telling me you're going to be complaining that there is no opportunity, that you're not getting a job? Or you're going to try to do whatever job you can do now in the meantime to survive? So a lot of people that are frustrated, they don't know.
Can you give me just a second, please, as a plea, please. In South Africa, when we hire a person, especially that skill, that critical skill, there are criteria to hire someone. Number one, it must be South African, it must be this qualification. Until they fail to find such candidates in South Africa, then they can go to zero. But unfortunately, it is true that we have hundreds of chartered accountants. The one chartered accountant is just next to me. Thank you.
You know what? You must, when we're having this conversation, it's important to understand there's a difference between being qualified, having skill, and having experience. I don't want to take away from the fact
a financial what in SAPC without an experience, Ngola. That's why I'm saying criteria. Should I say call it like that?
So
you don't get what I just told you.
Are you meaning?
Experience is part of criteria.
Let me repeat myself. Please understand this. This is very simple to understand. It's just, this is common language. I'm saying to you, we know that there's thousands, there's millions of South Africans that are qualified, that are unemployed. Here's the thing.
There's even owning their accounting firm.
Do you think you can try to listen for a second? Is that possible? Okay, for everyone else who's listening, this is what I'm saying, right? Very simple. There's a difference between qualifications and having skills plus experience. Now, when it comes to a situation like this, we also have to be practical and let's apply some common sense, right? The person who was previously there was a whitey person. I'm pretty sure nobody had a problem with that, but that's besides the point. She had to resign. According to the document that I read, it doesn't state as to why, right? However, the company respects and supports her decision. Now, when you hear someone is in an acting position, that's because there hasn't been anyone that can be suited to go there, because this is like a sudden thing. So like now, Yomi here is a moderator. If another moderator comes and Yomi has to go and sort out something, he's going to put that person, or even one of us for that matter, as an acting moderator for this platform. In the meantime, where Yomi, in the instance where he went and sought something else, he's going to be back. So this is why they state, and you can see it says acting CFO. Now, here's what is interesting. When you look at this specific career path and the experience that is required, in South Africa, it says that the age range begins from 35 all about to 56. The sweet spot is between 40-something years old. Now, I find that information interesting, right? Because it takes a certain amount of years. So which means also this number of people, they are very small minority. Now, we can have a conversation about, yes, there's a lot of people that that are chartered accountant, they are qualified. However, this person has been there since 2017. We're talking about experience here as well. We can't take away from the experience.
Unfortunately, I know the field. Unfortunately, you cannot tell me about it. I know the field. There are lots of things.
But you can't listen. That's the problem.
SAPC is corrupt. Let's go there. It's a corruption. It's a corruption. And we are coming. We are coming. The audit. Let me tell you something. All the auditors that are